Hello. My name is Taylor Ann Thorne. I'm 27 years old. I'm a Pisces, and I am sewing right now. I recently had a medical experience that is leading me to make this video, so I would like to continue making this video. So I have a cognitive language processing issue that I've been dealing with my entire life, and that recently, through smoking, fatigue, and trauma, turned into something called aphasia. And aphasia is when you have a bilateral brain injury, that is an injury to one side of the brain, and your language facilities stop working together. So for me, that was like, instead of hearing an entire sentence, I would hear the individual letters in a sentence. And I would be like unable to respond thoughtfully. And it lasted for, I want to say, 2 years. And most of the time I was hiding it. My in-laws thought that I was dealing with schizophrenia, and my husband thought I was being a dick. Basically, I had been like trapped inside my own head is what I felt like, to the point where it started driving me a little bit crazy. I thought I was dying, because I'd always heard that cats can sense when they're dying, and I always think of myself, well, not as a cat, but as more of a wolf. And I could sense that something was wrong, and so I just decided to leave my life behind and go traveling, because if I couldn't my thought process was that if I couldn't understand sentences, if I couldn't understand language, I could at least like understand visually what was going on around me, and I thought it would be reassuring to like see large cities, to see examples of architecture, and like the feats of man that I'd never seen before, because I genuinely did think that I was dying. I felt like I was dying. I couldn't even put together a sentence, and this is coming from someone that had a very high grade point average, and was always kind of academically inclined. I didn't go to college, but I have always like spent my adult life like reading and spending time with books and you know, doing research. And let's see. Yeah, I could feel my mind like atrophying in a way, like it was like growing weaker, to the point where I couldn't even respond in full sentences. And when I did, I would be forced to use the like metaphors of like grade school. So yeah, but I've come up with some favorite words since that experience, some words that kept me from completely losing my mind. One of them is wolf. Just being reminded of technological progress is what wolf means to me. So I was thinking about like coding languages and how hard people have to um, fight basically to retain their ability to use language in a world where we have so many competing languages, so many different rules, and so many different like things that govern social interactions, and much less the conquest of language in the first place. I mean, like the whole fact that we have systems of writing is incredible. Like, I mean, to imagine like starting from scratch with that, um, it's really given me a new appreciation for things. And how language is like consistently evolving, and the reason why wolf is one of my new favorite words is because throughout the entire time that I was traveling, I never felt unsafe. I felt like something was watching over me, and I don't know if it's like part of my personality, if I look particularly intimidating or what, but like I was homeless on the streets of LA for about, I'd say like 7 months, and I never once felt afraid. I've been traveling back and forth on Greyhounds, and although I've had things stolen and taken from me, it never really bothered me that much. I always just assumed that it was going to a place where it would be more useful, and it got me thinking about like the things that I use to sustain myself in times of hardship. Things being resourcefulness. So like, so I'm a housewife at 28 years old, which means that I have to manage an entire household, basically. I mean, I don't do that anymore. We're staying with my in-laws because after I started suffering from this illness, I kind of went off on my own. I left my husband. I ran off, knowing that I would be able to come back. So he started staying with his family again. But resourcefulness. Like, so I've supported myself for a while now. I would always like find jobs. I would always, pay bills, find a way to barter, trade, steal, scrape my way through. And I felt like there was like the spirit of that resourcefulness that carrying me through this. I'm going to get back to my sewing, but those are the two words that I'm associating now, is resourcefulness and wolf.